Ken here, your thrifty apprentice. Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome back to another water soluble Wednesday. So guys, this video is going to kick off a week of card making. Valentine is coming up soon. I need to get some cards and card sets made for Esty, as well as to give to loved ones and friends. Last week we had a week of review. I hope you guys enjoyed all those reviews on those products that we used throughout the Christmas season. And what I want to do at the beginning of this video, before we jump into doing some watercoloring, is share with you guys some products that I received for Christmas. So it's sort of like a mini art haul. And I do mean mini because these are just some things that someone was nice enough to give to me from the kindness in the bottom of their heart, and I just want to share with you guys because these are the things that are going to be coming up in the near future, mixed in with all of the other products that I had planned. So let's just stop talking and jump right into it. First things first, I received 121 count alcohol marker set, and I actually dropped it off my couch and damaged the back of the package, and I hate that. Oh, I hate that. But this is dual tip. I do believe these are brush and chisel tip. Yeah, so you have a brush tip and a broad tip. This is the GC Quill colors. Really love the packaging. It's a really whimsical and fun box. You guys know how much I love that. So I'm really excited. These markers are made in China. I'm not sure what inking system they're on or anything of that nature. This was one of the bigger surprises that I received, and I was so excited. I'm so excited about the coloring. Of course, we did just finish reviewing those, or what was that 120 count of Esty art markers, that small body, which was a pretty decent marker for the money, for what you pay for it, in all honesty. I also received a set of Paul Rubens Kwame watercolors. This is 24 colors, 12 milliliter tubes. Of course, you guys know I've been on a Paul Rubens kind of extent here recently, and I've reviewed several of the company's products at this point, and I've been pretty pleased with all of them. I guess my most least liked product that I reviewed of theirs would probably be the opaque watercolors. I was actually a pretty big fan of the guaca paints, if the truth be told. Looks like it's a pretty decent range of colors. Everything is pretty much in Chinese. I do see that the color names and the color numbers are in English, and it does include pigment numbers for each of the paints as well, and that's all printed on the box. So I'm really excited about getting around to these. Next up, I received a set of White Knights. Now, I've reviewed White Knights before. It was their, I think it's their 12 full pan set, and it was back when I first started the reviewing on the channel. It's been a couple of years back. I hadn't purchased any White Knight products myself, but these were gifted to me, and I was really grateful to the person who gave them to me, because I mean, it was a very sweet gift. So of course I'm kind of familiar with White Knights, but this is the 12 tube set. They're 10 milliliter tubes. The back of the box does include the color number, color name, and pigment number for each of the colors. And right off the bat, it looks like most of those are single pigments. So I'm gonna give them the same run that I give every other set that comes through the studio. I want to see what they are like, and maybe even compare them to the half pan set. This is an all-inclusive channel. There it is. So lastly, I received, what is this? This is a color pencil set, which, guys, I have so many color pencil sets to get through. I really do. Was really grateful for this one as well, but I thought to myself when I first opened the box, oh, another color pencil set. And they're all so big. All of them are like 120 count or more. So much swatching. But anyway, so this is the Star Joy Gold Edition 120 count. And I think I know why I received this, because I have a Amazon wish list that all of my friends and family have access to. And I think I put these on that list maybe 2 years ago, actually. And I forgot that they were on there. And I do believe that this is why I received these. And I am really grateful from the bottom of my heart for all of those. So guys, that's what Santa brought me, if you believe in Santa. That's what the people in my life who love me gifted me with. And that is the little mini art house. So those are some things that are going to be coming up on the channel. Just want you guys to take a look at them. Now, this week we are tackling making cards. I think I may have already said I need to re-up the Etsy. I need to get the Etsy shop prepared for Valentine's and just get some cards created to give to friends and family. We are going to be taking a first look at a set of watercolors that I picked up. If I'm not mistaken, it was doing Rhyme Day.
Let's take a look. That's it.
Maybe. I'm not quite sure. It had to be Prime Day because it wasn't for Black Friday. It had to be Prime Day back in October. So these are what I am calling, and I'm sure I'm going to butcher it, the Aureuo. That's the best, that's the closest I can come. I actually looked up the pronunciation on Google to see if I could understand whether I was pronouncing it right, but Aureuo is the closest I've come. Now, I'll be honest, when I was looking at the listing on Amazon, and as I initially took a look at the palette, because I did sneak a look, it really reminds me of Phoenix watercolors. And I did go and do some research really quickly because I was curious after I took a look at the palette. And funny thing is, especially on YouTube, the Aureuo channel itself doesn't have much, but I noticed that the Phoenix official YouTube channel actually promotes this watercolor. And we are going to be taking a quick look at it. You know, and this is what I'm going to be using. I'm not sure if this will be, I'm not going to do a swatching or anything. I will go ahead and unbox them real quick and talk about them a little bit with you guys based on preliminary viewing. And then we'll jump into today's video because I'm sure this video is going to be a little longer than the normal time-lapse one. So here we have what I'm calling the Aureuo. If anyone knows that I'm pronouncing that wrong and knows the correct pronunciation and can relay that to me, please let me know. This is the Studio Watercolor portable set. It has one metal tin with palette, 24 half pans for a total of 25 pieces. It says the same thing in different languages, 24 colors, and colors are spelled in European style. Let's see, side of the box, watercolor portable set. Watercolor 24 colors. Watercolor applies to color only. And then of course it says that in different languages. Then the back of the box, Aureuo 24 colors. Contents may vary. Then it says contents may vary in different languages, meaning that, you know, you may not necessarily get the same color from palette to palette. I like when they disclose that, and that is something to keep in mind just in case you order this set that I'm going to eventually review. So portable set, Aureuo watercolors, highly pigmented with good transparency and good diffusivity. Me and that word, right? I know you guys heard me battle with that word before. Smart choice for amateurs and artists, inspiring anywhere, anytime. So yes, and it does say that this is Phoenix Artist Materials Technology, and it gives Phoenix website, lets you know it's made in China. So yes, this product, I'm not gonna say it's white labeled by Phoenix. I'm wondering if it's another brand of Phoenix, since Phoenix is stamping all of their information on it, not just necessarily, you know, a budget company that has ordered their products from Phoenix factory and is just slapping their name on it. But maybe this is a different line of paint from Phoenix itself. So I'm pretty, you know, familiar with what to expect from these paints. I'm expecting them to be, you know, a little like Cotman, in all honesty. There is the AP stamp letting you know that they do conform to the ASTM D4236 regulation, although it's pretty microscopic there. That's everything that's on the packaging. You get this pretty blue tin, standard tin, it's just blue. Got the thumb ring for traveling on the bottom. Has their logo stamped in the bottom corner. It looks like it is printed on, maybe laser. Maybe. Okay, standard palette with your 4 wheels at the top. Your extendable. That extendable is a little on the uneven, unlevel side. But you guys know you can always correct that. There's no biggie. Comes with a swatch sheet on the inside for you to swatch paints out. That swatch sheet does have the color name, the color number, looks like transparency rating, and whether or not it is, oh yeah, transparency rating and light fast rating. It's kind of tiny, so I'm making sure, and it's in many different languages. I like the fact that they've started listing it in so many different languages. So here is the insert, which removes to expose the additional mixing wheels on the bottom. And we have white, lemon yellow, yellow pale, Indian yellow, orange yellow, vermilion hue, scarlet, crimson, rose, cobalt violet hue, violet, ultramarine, Prussian blue, lake blue, cobalt blue hue, permanent green light. Yeah, these are definitely Phoenix colors. Hooker green dark, olive green, green deep, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, burnt umber, raw umber, and lamp black. Odds are I probably won't need to do 2 or 3 paintings with these in order to do a review on them. Who knows, it may end up at the end of this video, maybe not, maybe it'll be a separate one. But yeah, these are, I'm pretty dead on that these are Phoenix colors. I do believe I am. So I am going to, for the sake of putting them through the ringers, I'm going to unwrap them, swatch them out, and then I'm going to do a demo for you. This will go directly into the demo. So I'll see you guys afterwards so we can show you how I'm turning what we do in the demo into a card. As we move into the demo, we are going to actually be painting the focal image for the Valentine card that I will be constructing after the demo section of this video. So I grabbed a piece of the Banyo offcut watercolor paper that came with that little economical kit. I cut down a square of that watercolor paper to be about the size that I wanted to fit on the front of my focal, fit on the front of my card as the focal image, excuse me, keeping in mind that my card was like 5 by 6.5. I decided that I would go with a heart lollipop with a bow on the stick. So I searched around Google till I found a couple of reference photos that sort of resembled what I wanted, and I sketched it out onto a piece of sketch paper. Then I took that and transferred it onto the little piece of watercolor paper that I was creating the focal image on by simply rubbing a pencil across the back of the sketch paper, kind of making a makeshift transfer with that graphite. And then I put it onto the watercolor paper and transferred the sketch. That way I wouldn't have any erasing marks on the watercolor paper. So now, of course, I'm using the paints that we unboxed, and this is the Aureuo. I'm still probably butchering that, but those are the paints that I'm using. But, you know, it's evident after the unboxing and simply from the look and feel of the paints, the way they pre-activated and the way that they're re-wetting and just in use, I can pretty much tell you that these are almost the exact same thing as Phoenix Watercolors, who we believe produces Cotman for Winsor and Newton as well. Phoenix actually white labels for a lot of budget companies, which is sort of what I thought this was at first. But of course, from the unboxing, we saw that Phoenix's information is actually stamped on this box. So versus it being a budget company that they white labeled for, I really do believe that this is just another line of paints produced by Phoenix and released by Phoenix, especially due to the fact that the advertisement is all over their website, all over their YouTube page, all over their Facebook page. So the colors that I chose to use were vermilion hue, scarlet, crimson, ultramarine blue, and burnt umber. And I'm just going to use the ultramarine blue and burnt umber to darken the other colors as I need to create more saturation and to do my shadows. So I based in the actual lollipop heart section itself with a mixture of vermilion red and scarlet. And I did a lot of wet into wet. After I got the first light layer down, I went back in with just mass tone of vermilion hue and dabbed it into places that I could see there was more depth in the shadows for the candy. I took the scarlet and mixed in just a bit of the ultramarine blue, gave me beautiful purple tone, and I used that purple in the shadow areas as well. After that dried, I went back in with that same mixture of vermilion and scarlet just to give it, to keep the harmony and the unity across it. Now you can see that I did purposely leave out white spaces for the highlights, but I am going to touch that up with a little gel pen at the end as well. I went into the bow, and that was painted with crimson, and the shadow areas are being painted with a mixture. I actually made a gray first by mixing ultramarine and burnt umber, and then I took that gray and slowly mixed in the crimson until I had this really deep, rich red wine color. And that's what I use for the shadows on the bow, to add in the definition, to give it roundness and body. But of course it comes to life as you play the highlights against the deep dark shadows. It's all about values. I say that all the time, regardless of what color you choose to paint a subject. As long as you have your values right, then you're going to produce something that's pretty decent creatively. So I'm just going back and forth here with adding in shadows and details on that bow. I did take a little bit more time with this composition than you may think. Of course, this is sped up and voiced over, so you guys are getting a really quick look at it. But I actually took about 30, 35, 40 minutes to paint this. I was taking my time and having fun. I really wanted it to be a nice focal image. I'm using that same deep red wine color to go in and add more shadows to the actual lollipop itself. Oh, and I will mention that the stick was painted with a little, what was that? A little bit of burnt sienna mixed with a little bit of burnt umber. And I may have added just a touch of yellow ochre in there. I just wanted to give it like this light yellowy woodsy lollipop stick color. And then I took the mixture of ultramarine blue and burnt umber and painted in a shadow around the lollipop to show it laying against the table, to give it a little bit more definition, make it seem like maybe you could pick it up. And then ultimately, I went in and hit the bow with some Artist Loft pearlescent watercolors in order to give that bow a little shine. Now, I personally think that pearlescent watercolors, or this set anyway, is a little bit more transparent than like a metallic watercolor, which is really opaque in a lot of instances. So that's what I used to do those little shimmers. And then I hit it with some gel pen in order to add in the highlights. Let's jump into card creation. And here we have our watercolor focal image for our Valentine Day card. So if you were joining just for the art haul, unboxing, and watercolor demo, then thank you so very much for joining me. Please don't forget to join us back on Friday for the next video. Do subscribe and hit that notification bell so you will know. And have a wonderful, wonderful day. If you are staying for the card creation, at this point, I'm going to jump into constructing the card. And it will be time-lapse, but I will be walking you guys through it with narration. And it will be moving at a speed where you'll definitely be able to understand and see what's going on. So let's get started. So for this card creation, I started by replicating my focal image. I simply laid it down on the printer glass of my printer and used the color copy feature in order to copy it 3 times onto Nia white cardstock. I cut it out with some scissors, and now I'm going to use some double-sided tape as well as glue stick in order to adhere that to a piece of red cardstock, leaving 1/8 of an inch border on the focal image. Next, I used a pre-made card base that is 5 by 6.5, folded it on the score line, and I'm using as my backing panel a piece of pattern paper I made myself by dyeing copy paper with red watercolor and then splashing it with red watercolor in a mass tone. I'm going to put double-sided tape as well as glue onto that and adhere it to a piece of red cardstock, leaving 1/8 of an inch border. I'm going to add double-sided tape to the back of that glue as well, and then I'll add my card front to my card base, and I'll build on top of that. I'm adding that to the card base, again leaving a 1/8 inch border of white around. Now I'm using a 1x5 piece of red cardstock that I embossed with a heart embossing folder. I'm going to add double-sided tape as well as a little glue stick and lining it up with one of the cards I made earlier to make sure that I get it in the right spot. I'm going to glue that down. I did take some scissors in order to cut that into a ribbon tail. Now I'm going to add my focal image to my card base by using double-sided tape as well as a little glue, and I'm going to leave that about a 1/4 inch from the edge so that you can see the ribbon all the way through. Now it's time to add the sentiment. I chose the word love, and this is a sentiment that I got in one of those specialty packs from Michael's. It was on sale after Valentine's Day about 2 years ago, and I picked it up, and I'm finally getting around to using it. I used some Ranger's Art black archival ink in order to stamp that, and now I'm going to start to embellish the card. I chose to use some clear stones in order to do this. Now you can actually use alcohol marker to tint the color of your stones, and I'm going to show you guys that in the next video that we do, but here I just decided to leave them clear. I'm going to use a little needle nose pliers to kind of help me pick them up. I'm using Elmer's Craft Bond liquid glue in order to add a little bit additional adhesive to the back of them and to get them put down. And then I'm going to choose a puffer sticker heart to add to the card, based on the color. That's going to wrap it up, guys. Hopefully you saw something, heard something, picked up on something, or just came along and enjoyed what you saw. If you did, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, comment, and just keep painting and crafting.